Hello, hello, JoJo Cross is here. This is JoJo. We are working today on one of our last builds on this island. This is our Fay Blossom Island and our Fairycore Island. So today we have to work on our final neighborhood, and then at the end we're gonna throw in our rock garden. So I've already done the work to get the rock garden in and stuff. So the rocks are there. So we're gonna work on decorating it. But at this point, I'm gonna do some of the path placing. And I decided to speed it up because I didn't want you guys to have to, sit through all that. So anyways, there's a lot of pathing. We have 4 houses to get to, and they're kind of spread out up here. So, I had to kind of do a lot of it. And, I know some of you are like, hey, I'll sit through whatever. I didn't want to make you sit through all of this. So anyway, we are making our way up towards Meringue's house. She's up here at the top. And what I basically am trying to do is just tie everything in to what's already here on the island. So, I have the basic, stuff already down around the island, and we've pretty much plastered it with flowers and greenery leaves and things like that. So, our trees. And so that's just what we're continuing to do. I don't really have any particular idea for up here as to what I want it to look like. I wish I did. I kind of started this like, oh, what am I going to do here? But really, I'm just, want to make it look really pretty and stick with what the rest of the island looks like. So anyway, this first chunk here, not too bad. I had a nice good area to go. Using the same path that I've used throughout the whole island. If you ever need those design codes, there is a link below of those from one of my videos that I did on all the designs of the island. So that was the last little notch of this one. And so we're just kind of checking the path now and making sure it all kind of goes where it needs to be. And then this little section up here goes to Meringue's house. So we'll speed this up again too. But yeah, we're just going to kind of curl it off to the right and make it so that Meringue can, be included in this. She was trapped up here for the longest time. I kept coming around and she was like just standing on the hill with no way to get down. But I did put an incline up there, so now she can at least get down. I'm not sure why I feel like these villagers are real sometimes, but they feel that way at times, and so I feel bad for them, like they have feelings or something in this game. But I do realize it's a game, but it's still hard. They've really made them cute, so you kind of relate to them, and you're like, oh, that's my favorite villager or whatever. And so you hate to like make it so they can't walk or can't use certain things, even though they never do, because like you'll put a table and chairs down and not one will sit there, but then they'll come and sit right in the path where you're working. There's that. So this one wasn't too bad. Got that done fairly quickly. I feel like when I speed it up, it doesn't seem like it's much work at all, but boy, when you're doing it, it takes a hot minute. And I don't really love putting the path work down too much. It's not my favorite thing, but I love it when it's done. It looks so pretty, especially this path. It's such a gorgeous little path. The lady that made this did great. So this is, I think, Sherb's house down here, maybe. He's the one down on the bottom, and then I can't remember who are the other two. I think one of them is Bob. He has the yellow house, I believe, and then the one that's gonna be above here, oh god, I want to say, shoot, I don't even remember, but it's one of those villagers that are recent to my island. So But you'll see, I think I will show a map here possibly along the way, and you can see all my villagers and who's up where. This part was probably, I think, the shortest part, maybe this and the one right above it. So there's not too much to go. It's just, 4 little chunks, but boy, like I say, they take longer when you're doing them than when you're, live action. At the time, and you're talking while you're doing it, I feel like it's a little easier than voiceovering it and, doing that sort of thing. So this is the last little chunk though of speeding it up, and then I think there's a little bit more along the way in the video, but like I say, I wanted you to see the process, but I don't want you to have to sit through the mundane part of me trying to figure out how to work my Joy-Cons. Because I feel like half the time I'm pressing the wrong stinking button or whatever. I did pretty good on this one actually, but there was some times where I was like, oh God, people are probably like, okay, Joe, like, get your act together, girlfriend. I also cut out a lot of things that you probably don't see, but that you might do too. I don't know, but I really do stumble over just certain acts in here. So anyways, up here, I wanted to do some really big little, some big fairy type build that made it look kind of, magical. And so I'm going to put down a little middle stonework, because at first I was thinking I might put like a certain statue in the middle or something like that. But then you'll see when I come back, I ended up not even really needing to put this down, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me either way. It just took a little extra time is all. But see how slow this really is in real life? So when I speed it up, you think, oh, she's so fast. No, it's really just that slow. So what seems to take only about a minute for you to watch, it probably takes me like 10. So yeah, put a little step in here, and then we're gonna cut over, and I kind of bounce around a little bit because I'm trying to get views of the certain areas, and then trying to see like what will fit here, what will fit there. And it is kind of a big span of these 3 levels that I have to work on, but ultimately wanted to get this part done first. And so I decided to put the glowing moss pond down here, which is why I really didn't need to put that base down, because the moss pond just covers it all pretty much, but that's okay. I like the purple. I think it works into the island, because I'm doing more of the blue, purple, and pink, heavy on that. I have a little bit of green, the glowing green moss stuff here and there, and I've got like obviously some yellows sprinkled around, but for the most part, the main colors on this island were the blue, purple, pink color tones. And then I love these little Valiant statues. They're so pretty, especially when they're turned sideways, and I feel like they definitely scream Fairycore, even though they're supposed to be angels, right? But I think the artists that made these kind of intended them to be angels, but I think that you can make them whatever you want them to be. So in this case, these are little fairies, like the statues of all the fairies. Getting these moons to face the right way too, and remembering which way is what, is always a challenge. But this one in particular just flies right where I want it to go, which is amazeballs. So I love that. And then, yeah, I like the way that all looks together, but I've kind of crowded myself out to where I have to jump back to get in here. And this spot, you can't really see it that great unless you go like from across the pond. So like over here, and then you can see it a little better. But That's okay. There's parts of this island that are going to be a little harder to squeeze around. So if you do end up visiting my DA, just know that the path is there, and if you follow the path, you will pretty much see all the main things. But there's a few other things you might have to be sneaky and look around, and you might get trapped here and there. And I'm not going to apologize for that because I am a hoarder on this island, a hoarder of flowers and a hoarder of anything I can put in the space to cover the ground because I do not believe in empty space in this one. So, but there is a lot of like pathing that takes up some of the space, which I think is nice. It helps you walk around a little bit and stuff like that. But I put up some more Nova lights here, and I made these logs the purple as well, so I could keep it all in the purple family over here. And then when I'm done with all these areas, I'm going to come back and put in a bunch of flowers. But I have some in my pocket now that I'm going to do, especially on the parts that I think I may not get back to very easily or whatever. But I'm also planting these bushes from the seed, stage. So we won't get to see this full grown until I come back to it. And I want to come back when the trees are pink. So towards the end, when I'm all done, I will come back and tour this area and let you just look at it with all the pink trees. And I'll let you see everything that's grown in and stuff like that. So don't worry that it doesn't look that great right now. It should look more itself once we come back and get that part going. So anyway, but I love the flowers in this game. I actually wish we had a few more choices of flowers. And I was wondering, what flowers would you guys add if you could add a flower to this game? I think I would add sunflowers. I would add daffodils. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I really love like vines and stuff. I wish we had, instead of just the little one vine that goes up, the side of the cliff or something, I wish you could add vines to like the front of the buildings, or maybe put it on like different aspects of the game. Like maybe that can be something you customize onto things or something. I think that'd be so cool. Like to put jasmine growing up a tree or something like that. It would make it look more overgrown. I also wish in this game that we had weeping willow trees, like the kind that go up and that weep down, I think that'd be so pretty. I've seen like some really pretty scenes where like someone will make like a frog pond or something, and I know people have modded in or made it, cut out the trees of the game and put in like trees from something else, and it looks so gorgeous. I just wish that we could do that on this game. There's actually a lot of things that I would not change, but that I would add to this game that I think could have, been done more, Plopped in a little giant vine back here, just to give it a little more height, whimsy, that kind of thing. And fill in some of the spaces back here. And then I'm going to go ahead and plop down a butterfly. And I'm going to try to put a few of those around the area in this whole upper spot here. There's going to be lots of butterflies, lots of flowers, and lots of just things that, make the walk up here really pretty, because really these villagers don't have like a job or anything on this island. They're just fairies. I put this this stonework down again, thinking that it would look cool with something on it, but then realized, okay, well, I can't center it. That stinks. And then I put my little statue up here, and I thought, oh, I could put something over here on the stone. But then I thought, well, I kind of wanted to add the little deer, like, because fairies are kind of known as being one with nature, sort of. At least in the things I've seen over time and stuff, it seems like the animals kind of listen to the fairies and stuff like that. So I feel like bringing in some animals and stuff um, really works with the fairy culture kind of thing. I wish they had more things that make it feel more like the Lord of the Ring fairies. You know, they're a little more elegant and less cutesy, like less Tinkerbell and more Lord of the Rings fairies. You know what I mean? Because that's where I feel like the statues kind of make it feel a little more Lord of the Ringy. And I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movies Lord of the Rings that are out, then you would have no idea. But you know, obviously Tinkerbell's a cartoon, and her little fairy village is more like what Animal Crossing kind of has all the decor of. It would fit more with like a Tinkerbell type fairy, but I really enjoy more the Lord of the Rings type fairies. And I always think they're so pretty in that movie. And, you know, when I was younger and that movie was on, I used to wish I was a fairy. Until that one fairy, like, got really angry and ugly. And then I was like, oh, God, I don't want to be that kind of fairy. She's evil. But she just did it for a minute. But I was afraid of the queen fairy for a little bit. Because I thought she was quite not good looking when she got angry. So it made you not want to mess with her, though, that's for sure. Which was probably the point of that, to show that they're not just someone that sits back and takes it, you know. But anyways, but it would be cool if we had a few more like things to help customize in this game a little more, you know, although I'm really grateful for what we have. What would you guys want to see in a new game? Like, what themes? What, you know how we had City Folk, we had New Leaf, um, we had, those are the two that stand out, and then we had obviously this one, the New Horizons. And this one's more like island to island based. You know, you can travel to other islands, stuff like that. City Folk, you were able to travel to a city and stuff. But what would you guys like to see in the game coming up if they were to make a new one? As far as updates, you know, I would love to see them change a few things, of course, in the game mechanics, as well as it running a little better, like not lagging when you have a ton of stuff on your island and things like that. So I'm hoping the new console will help with that and help to operate it a little better. So I think that would be a good, you know, solution. But then I'm wondering, as far as themes of the island, of the game, obviously they're probably still going to keep it an island because it's always been an island, right? But then I think it would be really cool if, like, you could travel from one island to another, but not really islands. Maybe one island, and then that island is broken up into different big chunks or something, and it could be like one big city, and you could choose to do that. Or my other idea is that you could choose different, like, terrains, you know, like when you first set up your hemisphere and they say, hey, you're from the northern hemisphere or whatever, and then say, and by the way, do you live in the country? Do you live in the big city? Do you live in the desert? Do you live in the ocean? Like, all sorts of things that you could maybe choose from. And then you could be like, yeah, I'm going to pick the city theme, for instance. And then that way, when you would get to the island, the basis of it would be like, let's say the island is completely flat. But then you have the option to place, like, structures around. bigger structures instead of like little tiny buildings. You know what I mean? Like instead of just villager buildings, maybe they live in a big apartment or something. Or maybe you have a choice of placing stores or whatever, and you could put those around. I think that would be so cool. And then let's say on the desert, you have more different types of trees for the desert. You have different like cactuses and different sorts of buildings that have more of that desert look to them, more flat topped and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think that would be really cool if they had those sorts of options. You know what I mean? So anyway, up here I am planting some bushes, and obviously, and then trying to get, some of the main little things put in and placed to kind of decorate. Trying to get them so that when I go forward, it'll be all grown in. So that's what I'm just kind of going around to all the areas that look a little empty, or that I know I would like some more greenery or things like that. And then I'm placing what flowers I did have in my pocket, and then the rest of it is like glowing moss and stuff. And then here's some more giant vines, because I gotta deck out this area with a little more of the bigger things as well, just to fill it in and make it look a little more full. Got a cute little bun put in there, and then I'm going to put a little mush item in here. Just some of the things I feel like you would find in a fairy's realm, of course. And then this little architecture, I've tried to put that in throughout the island a little bit. The houses are going to be redone on the outside, and I wasn't going to do the insides at all, but then I thought, well, if I have time, like while I'm going through and doing all the outsides to match, I will try to do the insides, but they're probably just going to be a little more colored, favored to this island rather than being really super fairy looking, but some will for sure. Like I don't even feel like I have to do Julian's house because his is already very much the fairy core. You know what I mean? He's got moons and stuff. If you haven't seen the inside of his house, it's very celestial. So he's already on that route. I came back in the morning at the 6 a.m. hour because I really like the music at this time. And I also just kind of wanted to see the island and the time of day, but I feel like it looks a little too dark. It will get lighter as we go along, but that's why it's so dark right now. It's not getting dark. It's actually going to lighten up because it's early morning hours of the game. But I'm just trying to put some things along the way to catch your interest, catch your eye, things to look at. I want to plop down our butterflies here and there. I want to put down, some of our little structural, little things that tie in the rest of the island to this part. So, I like those cute little glowing stools. I like them in the evening time. They really glow. So I don't know if you've ever come back to your island at night, but if you have those all over the place, they're very glowy. So I put a little bench over here and a tree to sit on the bench, and then because it was feeling a little empty in this area, and I don't know, there's not much spots to just plop down up here and sit. So I thought, well, I'll put a little place here for my villagers, and then got to plant a few more bushes along the way. I'm kind of trying to get things out of my pocket as well so that I can go grab a bunch of flowers, because that is also on my list, is just getting a lot of floral things put in here. And it's kind of a bummer when you plant these from seed because you can't really see what it's going to look like until you fast forward and they're grown in. But that's okay. I think some of them did grow in because I traveled forward a day, so you can see there's some things around that are fully grown and some not. This is down by Sherb's house again, because you see I'm just bouncing all over the place. And it's really just a kind of a filler area down here. And so, and then this, I kept trying to use this dragonfly like all over the place. He looks kind of yucky to me. I don't know. But I'm going to leave him there. He is huge though. Like just generous. Look at Meringue. How cute is she? I love it when the villagers actually sit on the stuff. That is another thing I would like to see in the new versions, is that they actually utilize things that you put down instead of just maybe once sitting there or sitting there for a second. And I would love if they would actually show them kind of drinking from the tea you put down, or going and having picnics together or something like that, you know, because I always put down these little picnic areas, and I'll put a little tea set, and I'll put food, and I'll put little cushions for them to sit on. Do they ever sit there? No, never. But it would be so cute if they just, like, I don't know, worked into the game that they, you know, if there's a seat and they're wandering around, they should go try it out. Or maybe they could make a comment about some things that you do on the island. How, you know, I know sometimes they'll comment like, oh, you put an incline in, or someone put an incline in and I can run around, or things like that. But I would love if they would actually, like, just say, hey Jojo, do you want to come and have a glass of tea with me? And then, you know, you go get to sit with the villager for a minute, you know. Not long, just for a second, and you can decline if you want, kind of like when they come in your house, I guess, but not too much, obviously, because the part about them going in your house has also gotten to be a little bit annoying at times. I know we all wanted it, like way back in the day, we're like, how come the villagers can't come to your house anymore? And then they added it back, and people are like, oh God, I'm leaving cockroaches in my house so that they won't come in. So it's like, we want it, and then we don't, but... and I realize those pillars don't match, but I don't really care. I kind of like the purple and the blue together because I have the purple and the blue moon. So I thought, you know, if it goes, it goes. And then, you know, I have to have 100 of these little angels everywhere because I love them and I think they're so cute. And I don't know, they're just kind of majestic. They're majestic. I like it. So those are like some of my favorite things that they've put in the game, are all these little statues. I think they're cute. This little peninsula that I'm working on out here, you really can't even see like when you walk around the island, and it's going to be kind of blocked because once I plant all these plants in here, you can't see it. You can from like a certain angle if you walk around the right way, but this is like the only time you're really going to see it. So voila, here it is. Oh, but you know, it just makes me feel better when the whole island is like completed, because then I'm like, okay, I did it. So I got it done, and at least if you do get caught up back there, you got something to look at. So I had to put a little bee out here. I almost put like a whole honeybee area because it's me, and I love the honeybees, and I love beehives, and I love like the making a little honeybee farm, but an apiary, but no, I didn't. Look at that little white flower. I love that they just cropped up everywhere. It kind of helped out. So it's kind of nice sometimes. Sometimes not wanted, but sometimes for sure. Although those are not my favorite flowers in the game. But I do kind of like that you can run it over and it doesn't destroy it. Here's where I am just on a flower filling frenzy. So I had gone to a treasure island and picked up just a crap ton of flowers. And so I'm just plopping them in here wherever I can possibly put them in where you can see for sure. And then I kind of go all around, and then I kind of come back in because I don't know how far these flowers are going to spread out, you know, and I have to keep making trips because the first problem is, even if I wanted to have my own flowers on this island, I have nowhere to put them. Every little space on this island is completely coated. So I don't even have a place to store these flowers. I had to just get them as needed. that's how much space in this island is covered. So it's crazy. Also, if you guys are content creators or you use music like that is Animal Crossing from the game on your videos, can you tell me where you get that, where you don't have any licensing issues? I was looking around and I haven't really found any music that is actually Animal Crossing that I can use in these little speed builds and stuff without having a copyright type issue or something like that. So again, if you have access to something, or even if it's something I can pay for that I could obtain, let me know. I put a little pine tree back here and stuff because nobody really needs to get back behind that pine tree, and that's just a little sitting area. And then again, just more flowers. We're trying to barf them up. It is just a barfing flower area here. So, and I love them. Like, that's one thing I love about Fairycore is you can't put too many flowers down. And that's also one of the things that I'm afraid of doing Citycore for, is because I love the flowers and I feel like I will not be able to put down the flowers that I would like to see. You know what I mean? But this one is not lacking that. There are so many flowers. Matter of fact, I actually kind of got tired of the flowers in this game, in these builds, which is crazy because I usually am like, more flowers. And this time I was like, oh, if I see one more flower, if I see one more flower, but it's okay. I still love them. So, yeah, but okay. So I'm trying to think of like what to do next. You guys really have to help me with this. Because, you know, when you create on here, you feel the pressure of doing things that people want to see, but also things you know you're going to be okay at, and that's not going to bore people to tears. You know what I mean? So if you guys have a suggestion, I'm still, like I said, I'm afraid of Citycore. Maybe someday I'll face that fear. I just don't know if it's here yet. I might still do that little patchwork thing I was talking about. I don't know if you guys heard it in any of my other videos, but I was talking about doing Floors Challenge that she's doing. It's Fleurs. She's an English gal. She has a YouTube, and she does, you know, tons of islands and does really pretty work and stuff. But her idea, she's calling her island Chunk, which I think is super cute, like a chunk of something. And basically, each gridded area on the map is a different theme. And if you look at the map, there's like 20 grids, not including the beach grids, but there's 20 boxes basically on your map that are outlined with like a dotted line. And that is what she's calling a chunk. And then each chunk has a different theme of what people have done over the years, you know, with Animal Crossing. So one chunk might be cottagecore, one chunk might be fairycore, one chunk might be kidcore, one chunk might be Christmas or a holiday like Easter, or not Easter, Bunny Day, sorry. You know, so I thought that was a good idea because it would help me introduce Citycore to my life without making the whole island Citycore, you know? So I could do like a chunk of Citycore. I could do a chunk of Kidcore, which I haven't done before. I could do a chunk of, you know, tropical or jungle theme, or back to Fairycore, you know? So anyways, if you guys think that's a good idea, I'm going to put a poll up today on my YouTube, but you might see this video after the poll, well after the poll has already gone up. And then, but I'll let you guys know what it ends up being. But that is what I'm talking about when I'm saying the chunk island. Um, or maybe it could be called the quilt island or the patchwork island or patches or something like that. But in any case, I think it's pretty good, you know. I think I'm trying to think of what I'm doing over here because that dragonfly just bugs me, but ha bugs me, get it? Ah, I'm just kidding. Anyways, he's just kind of like so big and kind of ugly-ish. I wish they made it so much prettier, like with instead of like a black background, maybe make it more silvery or something. I think that would have been really good. But I'm finished with this top part, so I'm going to give you a little tour of how it turned out. And I went forward to the pink days, pink tree days. So this is our little walk through. We're headed back this direction, and the houses are done too. So you should notice that the houses are all more Fairycore-esque. There's Bob. This was a big yellow house, and I switched him up to have more purple in his area and more something that he would like. He was thinking and wanted to leave. I had to tell him to stay, but you know, he's part of the island forever. But anyway, I added purple because he's purple, and I figured that went with his theme. And then we head on up here to Meringue's house, and this is her house. I just made the roof pink instead of red and added a little more pink to her house. Changed the doors up a little bit, stuff like that. But for the most part, I kind of just trying to get the color theme that's in my island here. And that one, I did all the insides of the houses, by the way, except for Julian's house. This is the only one that I didn't do, and only because Julian already has a very fairy type house. I already talked about that earlier, so just so you know. And then there's Cookie. She's so cute. She's the house up here behind Sherb. So Sherb is here. This is his little area. We have this little kind of moon theme going on around the island, of course, and my statues, things just to make it look a little more Fairycore. He has a little seating area over here. You can't really see it, but you know, we know it's there, so it's fine. And then this little part out here, I told you can't really even get to it. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get to it to show you guys, and I can't reach it. But like I said, if you jump around, like over here, get behind my museum, which you can see all the architecture there. There's the end of it over there. So just put a little bunny day item, stuff like that over there, just to make it look a little more, you know, cutesy. So you can, when you see it, even through the cracks or something, I want it to look cute. So, and then if you walk on up this direction, Cookie's house is up here. I put a little seat here for her to sit in. Another seat here. That's Meringue's house up top, which I think looks cute. And then Cookie had the big build in front of her house with the pond and a couple of angels and the moons and stuff like that. We went kind of purpley with her, even though she's pink, but it's okay. I like the purple pond and kind of went off of that. But you can't really walk around in here either, but you can see this from across the way a little better too. I just don't really go over there at this point, but you got to see it earlier, so that's okay. But hey, our next build coming up here in a minute is going to be our rock garden, which I worked a long time to try to get those rocks in because I had some problems. Here I am. Where I'm sitting, I had a decayed tree sitting here for the longest time. And I had put like the concrete trim around this so that the rocks wouldn't grow here except in like these certain spots. Well, what I didn't realize, and I had to go on Reddit and like ask some people. Look at Julian, he's just hanging out back there. Anyway, I was asking because I've played this game for years and years. I've never really had any trouble getting a rock garden to form, especially towards the end of my island when everything's filled in. But this time it wouldn't grow in for some reason. Like I got 3 rocks to get here and that was it. And then they just stopped and they wouldn't go anywhere on the other parts of the island. I looked all over the place, nothing. I'm planting bushes here, by the way. I wanted to plant some bushes in between, and there's going to be some, yes, some nova lights in between those two, so it's kind of alternating. So I got a bush, then a nova light, bush, nova light, that kind of thing, just so they kind of alternate. You're not going to really be able to walk in here, which is fine. It's more to just look at this point, because I don't really need my rocks to be usable on this island. It's all kind of just for looks. But anyways, I was having the hardest time getting the rocks to grow. I always thought that you could put whatever objects near where the rocks are going to grow and they will come on in. Like, it didn't matter as long as it wasn't a cliff or a tree, the rocks would grow in. So I had the trees far around here and stuff like that. No rocks would grow. So I went on to Reddit. I was searching around. I talked to them about it a little bit. And one of the gentlemen on there answered me and said, hey, it might be your decayed tree that is causing the problem, because there's a certain amount of items that can't be in the area when the rocks are trying to form or whatever. I didn't fully understand it, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the decayed tree out, because I didn't even think about that as being the problem. And sure enough, I came back the next day, a rock was there. I came back the next day, the next rock was there. Because you only get 1 rock growing each day. So the last 3 rocks finally came in, and they kind of formed this formation themselves. I think I had 6 spots around the edge, and for some reason it formed another one at the top, so they kind of made like a little circle at the top and then this one down below, which is totally fine. I don't even care. I'm just glad they're all here in this little circle. That's the decay tree that was my problem. But in any case, I like how it turned out, and I'm so glad that I figured it out as to why it was giving me these issues. But if you ever have a problem, just take everything out of the area and then try and see what happens. But I also recommend don't do your rock garden until the very end of your island builds, because once you've covered the island with all your items and all your things that you want to put down, there's a very little space that the rocks can find to grow in. So it makes it a lot easier for you, and you don't have to put like mannequins all over the place and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm using these little frozen pillars, and then there's those plates that you can customize, and I found an iridescent bubble that was on, it's in my design codes too, so if you need that at all. But I thought they looked so cute because it kind of looks like these little bubbles are floating on top of the pillars once I put those up there. But then again, you can't really see them that great, but they still, I think, look kind of adorable from a distance and stuff. But while I'm building this, you know, you can't really get a good glimpse of them. But once I do the tour and stand back and stuff, you'll be able to see them for sure a lot better. But anyways, that's what I'm doing here, is putting some pillars around, because this is the enchanted rock garden, you know. And I kind of look at that decayed tree as like the old wise tree of the area, you know. And then these trees around it are kind of just helping kind of guard the area, and in keeping sort of with Lord of the Rings, where they have the forest and all the trees kind of guard like the areas, the lands. They're the bosses of the lands around that area. I'm kind of looking at it like that, sort of. See how it's like a bubble? You can't really tell up close. It looks like, I don't know, whatever, but when you kind of stand back, they look like little bubbles are floating up above on those pillars. So I don't know, they're cute. I think they still look nice, and I like them. So of course, you know that once I get these little moons put into place and stuff, because I'm going to put a few around, the next thing is to get flowers. So I have to fill the space in with flowers. You know, wouldn't be JoJo crosses if I didn't do that, especially on this Fairycore Island. So I'm going to get these moons in place. There's going to be several of them because this area is like magical. So lots of moons, and then we're going to go ahead and grab some flowers. This is the only part of the island where there'll be 4 gold roses. And so you'll see me put those down in the beginning of the flower placing too. And then, yeah, and then it'll be completed. And that means this island is completed, which went a lot faster than I thought. But I think it's because I did it in larger chunks. Like, normally I would have done like maybe one villager house at a time, or just Able Sisters one day, and then Nook's Cranny one day, and Resident Services. But I felt like a lot of these builds in this one were larger and kind of needed to be put together, and so that kind of caused it to go a little faster. So, because I was just doing longer builds in one area. That's also why I had such long videos this series, because a lot of terraforming, a lot of pathing, and just a lot more, like I said, larger builds and stuff. So, but I had to fill in a few things in here just to keep it, you know, a little full around the edges. Luckily, I don't have to worry about leaving any space for the rocks now because they're in place. I love this Emperor Butterfly. It's my favorite of the game, so I thought I'd put him at the head of the top here so you can see him really nicely. And aside from that, that's like pretty much all the things I'm going to put in here. And then I'm going to head off to a treasure island really quick, and here I am back from that, and look at all my flowers. So here comes the gold roses I told you about. I felt like this is a area where the gold roses could come in and just kind of be, you know, the only ones on the island, but definitely displayed a little bit here. They didn't really go with the rest of the island colors too much, but I think in this aspect they're kind of magical, so might as well put them in. And then I'm just kind of plopping down, you know, some of the colors of flowers that I use throughout the island and filling them in as much as I can where they will go. This decayed tree takes up a lot of space, and so it doesn't always let you plant a ton around it. So you just kind of have to see what will work. But then we'll do the outer edges as well. And so it'll be very flower filled over here, and, you know, just kind of make sure that it does look very fairy-esque and very flowery and pretty. Yeah, so, and I tried to, again, just keep with the same colors that I use throughout the island, pretty much everywhere. So there's a lot of colors that did not come in, especially any of the harvesty colors and stuff. I feel like those are definitely more for fall time and stuff like that. Or, you know, I love like the red pops when you do like a jungle theme or something like that. I feel like jungle and tropical should be very colorful, but this one in particular is more of a spring type colors. So I feel like if you took the moons and all that stuff out of here, you could interchange it with like Bunny Day stuff, and it would be a Bunny Day island. And then if you took the Bunny Day stuff out and put more basic stuff, you could make it a Springcore island. So this really could be any kind of island, honestly. But adding like the moons and the vines and stuff, I feel would make it kind of fairy-ish and whimsical. So I like that part of it. But anyways, we're just plopping down the rest of these little flowers. I hope you guys are having a good day. And if you like any of this video or this series or this channel, if you wouldn't mind subscribing if you haven't already, and also liking the videos really helps us well. Um, we are kind of trying to get up to the 1,000 mark, and then maybe beyond if we can. That'd be awesome. Right now I'm in the 700 realm, and I just cannot even believe it. I'm so thankful for all of you who have subscribed to the channel, who've said such nice things, and you all are so lovely. It's the best little community ever. I think some of the nicest people I have ever talked to have been part of the Animal Crossing community. I think there's just a lot of really lovely people out there that also have the same love for this game. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I really do. And when I answer you guys and say I appreciate you, you have no idea how much I appreciate it, because I honestly didn't even think I'd get to 100 on this channel. So I do appreciate you guys watching and taking the time out of your day just to spend with me. So, but this is the rock garden. I'm almost done with it here. I just have a few more little sporadic flowers to plant around. I try to get them all out of my pocket, and then we'll just do a quick little look at this rock garden and see how it looks all put together, but not much touring to go on this part. Got Meringue down here, even though her house is way up away from here. Meringue is down here again, hanging out with me, so she must miss me. All right, so this is just coming down from the top. It was a little empty over here, so I thought I needed to put a few more flowers up here, just spread them around the top portion. Yeah, but it's almost done here. And then this island is complete. I cannot believe I'm saying that right now, but I did kind of, like I say, it just kind of flew on by. So I'm loving that. That means we're gonna move on to the next exciting little adventure. So anyways, thanks you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm sorry, apparently I forgot to give you a full picture tour of the rock garden, so I just went right back to sitting down. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and you guys have a great day. Bye.